Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod, the final episode with my lovely, lovable co-host. It's not the last episode ever. It's just the last one where she's the lovely, lovable co-host. She'll just be a temporary, still lovely, lovable co-host.
I'll just be a guest. Or something.
It's crazy to think about.
I know.
I'm happy because I think you gave this a good amount of time, so I'm thankful for that. And I can I don't think I'm going to cry today. And, we can think of it as a celebration of what was. And, oh, damn, I'm crying.
No!
Fuck. Hold on, I got it together. Look, it was one heck of a run.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I've said it many times that I'm super grateful, and so many people have reached out and shouted. My favorite is this person sent me this long, wonderful paragraph comforting me, and everyone's like, "Sarah's the best, but you'll be okay." And this wonderful paragraph, and I was overwhelmed the first couple days after we announced it, and so they just did a follow up, and they were like, "Danny, are you there?"
Aw.
So I got back to them.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Sweet Zoe.
Aw. That's nice. Yeah, everybody's being so great. And you're great. The pod's going to continue to just crush it. So I don't know. I think it'll be fun to have some new voices and mix it up.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be okay, and we'll see how things go. And but I guess the bad news, I mean, I don't like to frame it this way, is that, even though this is freeing up your schedule is actually getting much more difficult with your class, which is just
I might be switching out of it. So I'm basically torn between, do I stick in a class that's slightly more interesting, but so much more demanding?
Yeah.
Or switch to a boring class that's less demanding. If the professor hears this, he'll be like, well, fuck you, you can't join. But I am talking about switching to the other class. And the professor is willing to let me do it, even though I missed a week, but he's just very slow about responding to my email. Although I guess in his defense, I took 12 hours to answer his email, but he also emailed me at 9 p.m. on Halloween. So I'm like, okay. It's like a 12-hour turnaround time, but hopefully by tomorrow I'll have some answers. We'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of torn because I could make it work with the demanding class, but it's at what cost?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because I obviously do have another co-host or host on my mind. I have been thinking who is Sarah? It's forced me to kind of adjective you a bit. I have said bookish before.
You've said that a few times about me recently.
Is that fair? Are you
I don't
against
really
bookish?
know what I thought. Bookish is you stay at home and always have your head in a book. I'm gonna Google it.
I just think of it as well-read, intelligent, well-spoken. I don't think of it as necessarily
inclined to rely on book knowledge, literary and formal, as opposed to colloquial and informal. That doesn't really feel like me.
No. And we need meme-ish. It's meme-ish, bookish, book meme-ish. It's smart. It's really just smart.
Intellectual, but I don't think I'm pretentious.
No, you're not pretentious, but I think a key thing about you is that, you are, you're pretty lefty, I think, and I think you're really good about that. I think that's an important thing.
I don't.
In a good way, though, not in that lipstick liberal kind of way, oh my God, yeah, that's fucked up, but in a substantial way.
Thanks. I try to just be, aware of things that are going on. Don't get it perfect, obviously.
Well, you've taught me so much, and I think I've learned so much from you, and, it's easier for me to just be we're not replacing Sarah, we're finding a new vibe and a new zone.
Yeah.
So.
Unless you get another one of your friends, I don't think anyone can replace the friendship vibe of it, at least right away.
No, I mean,
they'll become a friend, I'm sure.
I only have 3 friends, so we're probably gonna have to reach out to the friends.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, on a personal note, the Lord is really trying me.
Oh
I don't know
boy,
why that's a fun
what's
way
he
to put it.
doing?
Oh, the
Or
Lord.
she.
That's very, yeah, the Lord, oh Lord, why? My apartment is like, today, Dora reached out because,
Of course.
oh, poor Dora, guys. You guys think I cry a lot. So yesterday was just like this terrible day for me because they're redoing my apartment, and I just like chronically underestimated like how long it would take me to pack up my studio and put this shit together, and I have to go somewhere. And so I was like, I'll just go to Arizona. I'll work at my friend's house. Like they have a lot of space, but I have to bring the whole studio. My
That's like
teleprompter.
kind of insane that you're like, I'm just gonna drive 4 hours.
6 hours, but
What? Holy shit.
And yeah, I could have found somewhere in LA, but like it's a pretty big ask, and like, you know, these are like my lifelong friends that I'm staying with. So like, and they have a huge house, whereas like everyone in LA I know has like an apartment. It's like, oh, can Danny set up his life here for a week? Like that's a pretty crazy.
Yeah, I get that.
Most people are not equipped to provide that, nor like me enough to provide that, which is fair. I don't like nobody enough to do that for them. But of course, if they were in need of a studio, I'd be like, well, I have a studio, so you can just use mine.
I love that.
Yeah, so I had to pack up all my stuff, grossly misunderestimated this, and I basically was just crazily slammed and had to figure out how to like Tetris it all out and put it all in my freaking Camry, just brutal
Nuts.
shit. Took forever. It took like 5 hours, and then I have to unpack it all and set it all up again. But anyway, so as I'm leaving, and I have to do laundry. Of course, I haven't done my laundry, so it's like just, you know, salt on the wound. So I'm doing laundry the morning I'm leaving. Got no clothes. You know when you're in that like haven't done laundry wear?
Yep.
Like your giant shorts that you have on like the 5th belt loop just to barely keep on. They look like a skirt.
You're on your like bottom dregs underwear.
Yeah, your underwear with all these holes in it that your past relationships were largely predicated on, please get rid of that underwear, I will leave you.
That's amazing.
And you know, got my dad's Mighty Mouse shirt on that he's so proud of. Like, what? Really, like, I have that shirt for nostalgia, but I really ran the laundry to the end of it. Anyway, open my door, and Rodolfo is leaving, and Dora is just sobbing, and she's not breaking eye contact with me, but not yelling at me. Like I can sense her gaze on me, and I'm like, oh my God, like I can't right now. I can't. I wanna like be your friend, but I really can't right now. I don't even have enough time for my own life. I'm in a fire. Anyway, I got here, and it's been it's just a very different energy to be, because I always visit these friends on the weekend or on, you know, holidays or whatever, and it's like I'm here during their week, and it's just like a completely different energy.
Yeah.
You know, they got all this
sure.
shit going on. Yeah. So it's just been super intense. And then I'm in a crazy intense week at work, and I'm just like, Lord, please cut me some slack.
Oh, man.
But, you know, it's in these trying times when you relapse and get some nicotine packs. I'm a human being. I'm a human being,
not
people.
The nicotine.
But, you know, maybe the Lord is going to cut me some slack here. You know, I don't know what's I'm going to try to go on air. Actually, I'm really excited about this, Sarah. I become a runner in New York, and I've actually never gone on a run in Phoenix, and I'm in Phoenix now.
Oh God, how hot is it there?
Oh, it's Arcadia. No, it's nice now. It's like 70.
Oh.
All the people in Phoenix, they're like, it's Arcadia, it's Scottsdale. I'm like, shut, it's Phoenix, dude. It's just Phoenix, just enough.
What?
Enough.
Scottsdale is like a totally different city.
It's Phoenix. Well, because it's like, here's the thing. People are like, where do you live? I'm not like Echo Park. I'm like Los Angeles, LA, the city of LA. Like, yes, there are distinct areas, but like, it's just called LA. Like, don't.
No, that I get. But
it's all just a bunch of suburbs that clash into each other.
I feel like Scottsdale is more like city-like.
Scottsdale is in the middle of Phoenix, Sarah. There's no break. If you drive from Phoenix to Scottsdale, there's no island or bridge separating. There's nothing geographical. It's just like, welcome to Scottsdale. And then I forget what Scottsdale's slogan is. It's like, the most livable city. It's like, wow, you guys are already unlikable. Please calm down. So anyway, whatever, we'll get through it. And yeah, I got a bunch of guesties queued up, and thanks to everyone for reaching out. Actually, shout out to one of our listeners, Lily, who I believe is a personal friend of yours. She's been
they're my friend from camp.
Yeah,
like growing up, like since we were like 13 or 12.
Yeah, they've been booking all kinds of guests for me and stuff and helping me out.
Oh my God,
I'm really excited
awesome.
about that. Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. So that's my update, people. I'm getting through it. And Sarah, you know, this is the final ep. So, you know, I'm celebrating what was. That's my energy.
I am. I'm sad. It's gonna hit me later. I mean, everyone's making fun of me for like not emoting. I don't think I emote that much. I'm gonna be honest.
I can go with, yeah, thank you. You don't emote that much, A. B,
in general, I don't think so.
I think, look, I can even ding myself on this. You know, it is what it is. But like you have done more emotional labor on this podcast for me, right? Because I'm pouring out, you know, and then this has been a learning for me that it's like, tighten it up a bit, dog. You don't need to say everything. Public friendship, sure. And when we hang out, well, I mean, when we hang out, you are like this, but I just think I've expressed more closeness on my side. So I think I'm closer to you in certain ways because I poured more shit out on you.
Well, I don't know. I just think you've had more shit to pour. Like you went through but like not in a bad way. Like, you know, you went through breakups and stuff like that.
Man.
Like I didn't have anything that crazy happen to me that isn't like self-inflicted lately. So it's just, you know.
Hey, it's all self-inflicted, but fair enough. I mean, look, people emote differently. It is what it is, you know? And actually, I was thinking, too, what it is, it is. Is that another way of saying the phrase? That could be fun.
That sounds like how Yoda would say it.
It goes, what is it? It is.
Oh,
I'm trying to catch us on. What is it? It is. I can tell you that.
I don't know. You try. I feel like that's something, I don't know how that goes, but we'll try it out and let me know.
Can you publish that, big journalism? Can you put that in writing for me somewhere?
What is it? It is.
What is it? Yeah, it is.
That sounds like an Up Rocks headline or something.
Like Dadaist Up Rocks. You're just like, what is
seriously.
going on with Up Rocks? This isn't even clickbait.
Right? It's not even uplifting. It's just, what is it?
This one trick confounds all. Wow, that seems a bit too broad.
So true.
I've got to click this, actually. So, how about you? Any juice for us on this final day, the day of the Lord's reckoning?
That's so funny. Yeah, I don't know. I got an IUD in like 3 hours ago.
Oh, wow. The Lord is coming for us.
Crazy. It was crazy. Well, I just wanted to do it before the election because I was like, ugh, I don't know. It's something that I've put off through multiple election cycles now, and now I'm really like, okay, I don't think I can wait anymore. Like, it's getting pretty dire over here. So, yeah, I made my appointment. This is crazy. They gave me laughing gas, which was fucking tight. Like, that was amazing. It was so fun. Oh my God. Laughing gas is so fun. I had it for when I got my wisdom teeth out when I was 16 because, like, normally they put you under, but my veins are, like, teeny tiny. And so they, like, couldn't get me, like, prick me for anesthesia. So I got laughing gas. So it was tight. And so, yeah, so I did it for this. And sometimes they'll do it for, like, a dentist appointment. Certain dentists will give you laughing gas. But, yeah, I felt, like, fucked up immediately. I was, like, that shit really kicks in.
Wow.
And it was fun. I felt so fucked up that it was like I was just in another world at one point, and I could kind of wonder if the doctor was like calling my name or something. So I had to like actually stop doing the laughing gas for a minute so I could like come back down to earth like a tiny bit. And yeah, she was just asking if I was okay. But I mean,
yeah, I'm fucked up on the drugs you gave me.
I'm definitely
really
fucked
okay.
up. I was
wait, hold on
great.
a sec. Because I was under the misunderstanding that when you took laughing gas, you just laugh. But no, it isn't necessarily laughy.
It feels, no, it's fun. It's fun. You do laugh. To me, it feels like being drunk and like giddy.
Okay.
So
we do not endorse the recreational use of laughing gas, just to be crystal clear, everybody.
No, definitely not. But if they're giving it to you at the dentist, hey, you know, I don't know.
It's a way to do it. But wait, this was at the dentist.
No, this was at the OBGYN.
Oh, this was at the OBGYN.
Yeah, so that was fun. It still hurt, though, which I was like, holy shit, how are people just, like, doing this raw? Like, how are y'all doing that? Like, I don't even know. They had to dilate my cervix, which is what happens when you give birth. And I'm like, cool,
right.
That's not for me. Like, I don't know if I can do all of that. Yeah, then I got out and I was like really unwell for a minute. Like I was in an Uber home and I was just like in so much. Then the pain kicked in afterwards. I was like, oh wow, this is not good. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. But then I'm like mentally making all these plans for like, okay, I can DoorDash like a heating pad, or maybe I should ask my roommate to get me one from CVS. But then the Tylenol kicked in and now I'm pretty much doing okay. But that was like truly a fucking experience.
Wow. Well, thanks for, stomaching that. That's a lot.
I feel like I got it easy. I had to pay $75 for the laughing gas. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Best money I've ever spent. Like, give me the drugs. Like,
I can't even believe that's an
actually think
option.
I would have just like had to nope out of there if I had to do it just like, yeah, just unassisted because.
So wait, the option, they're just like $75 for laughing gas or feel the worst pain you've ever felt?
Yeah, like basically, I mean, I don't get it. I don't know. Sometimes they don't dilate your cervix, but sometimes they do. But that was the most like painful part for me. And there were sorry, this is like such a gross imagery, but there were all these like bloody Q-tips on the table, like, or cotton swabs on the table, like when I looked after I was done. And I was just like, it was like a crime scene. I was just like, I cannot believe some people are doing this raw. Like, I do not know how anyone can physically like undergo that. Seriously.
Yeah.
I barely underwent it. So yeah, I'll probably hold this over Ryan's head forever. He did not ask me to do this in any way, nor was he really involved in the decision making. I was just like, I'm doing this, but I will hold it over him as the, I don't know, representative for like men. I'm like, look what I did for you.
Well, it seems a little unfair, but hey, it's a lot of suffering. I actually have a IPD, an intrapenile device, and it prevents me from impregnating anyone, and it's my personality.
Nice.
This is the last episode with Sarah, and I just said the worst joke ever. But you know what, people?
That might play in certain markets. I don't know. I was in Colorado. I saw a lot of stand-up comedy in Colorado.
Yeah.
It was like, we went to 2 shows, which is like, I feel more comedy than I've seen in New York lately. And that was like interesting. I mean, it was pretty, it was pretty hit or miss. But the people who were funny were really funny. So, I guess that's just like New York.
Seeing comedy in not New York is always like, oh, okay, people do still say stuff like that. Wow, all right.
It was a moment. I was definitely like, I was like, what am I going to learn about this crowd that I'm around right now?
Oh, no, right? Oh, God. Coastal elites. Guys, the coastal elite vibes are still here. I don't know, once we lose Sarah, though, guys, I don't know. How coastal elite can you be on the Golden Coast? Is that the Golden Coast? Is the West Coast the Golden Coast? I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, what other coast would it be?
It seems to be the more golden one, people. But you know what else is golden? Our new patrons. Shout out to Alex, Letitia, Briaha. Sorry, I know I said that wrong. We'll take it again. Briaja? I don't know. Kayla, thank you so much for joining us. And Sarah, unless you have any, do you have any, post-pod reflections anything that you took away from this? Even, and you can take a shot at me, whatever
I'm not
it
gonna
might
take
be.
a shot at you. No, I mean, it's been a good ride. I think I've learned a lot, especially from the listeners. And just, I don't know. It's going to be emotional later when I'm no longer doing it. Like right now, I'm just kind of in this like adrenaline, like cortisol. What is it? Cortisol is the stress hormone of just like being busy. So I think once things quiet down, I'm definitely going to feel bummed. But it's been fun. I've learned a lot about I've learned a lot about Reddit. It's like a weird, I don't know. It's like a weird ecosystem because I think like most people are pretty liberal on it, I would say, or like the people at the top of the comments. But at the same time, like it's very weird, like the issues that they choose to kind of draw hard lines on. Like Reddit hates weddings. They hate children. They hate like women who want things. Like it's like very weird. Like I don't understand all the sort of like lines that they draw when they do it. And also like we've talked a lot about mental health, and that's been really cool and interesting. And I feel like all of your book discussions have caused me to kind of open my mind up a little bit more.
Well, that's great to hear. I mean, I think my biggest 2 learnings over the course of it are just, I learned a lot about sexism, I think, and how pervasive it is. And I think especially just that I didn't understand or know how the medical system was so sexist. And I think that's a pretty big bummer.
Yeah.
Because they're doctors. You're like, oh, you're a doctor. You must know. And literally they're like, oh, you're a woman? Oh, we're going to give you a C-section. because we want to do that.
That part, I mean, yeah, that part is crazy to me. Childbirth is like a huge medical event that people just act like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, getting a cold or something. And that's why all the politics right now are like just really scary, because it really is a major medical event. Like a C-section is major surgery.
Yeah.
Like childbirth can kill you and also cost you $20,000. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know. That stuff makes me like scared. But yeah, I mean, even within that, there's like racism within the sexism or vice versa. I don't really know. But like there's all these types of disparities about like, you know, which women are taken more seriously than others and believed. And I don't know, it's just a mess. I mean, though every facet of our society has like aspects of that. It's not just medicine.
Yeah, I mean, and thanks for putting up with a lot of my bullshit and stupid thoughts. But, you know, I have iterated, I have learned, I have grown. But if there's one area where I think I can say, Sarah, that I don't know that either of us have shown a ton of progress, it's a little game called Guess the Verdict. That said, I'm putting it all on the line. Whoever wins Guess the Verdict today is the reigning champion of Guess the Verdict for all eternity.
Oh, no pressure, though.
AITA for canceling a check of $12,000 that I wrote for my infertile friend for her next IVF, that's when they in vitro fertilization cycle.
Big reproductive episode.
Over a joke.
No, NTA, sorry, I read this one.
I figured you would have, but it was so juicy. I was like, I gotta know about this.
Yes.
So OP herself is infertile. She's 35. Her ex-husband and her tried everything to have kids. Didn't happen. He divorced me, went and married someone younger who was able to give him a kid. And from what I gather, they're expecting a second child together.
That's sad.
It hurts. Alicia, OP's friend, is in the same infertility boat as OP. Alicia asked for OP to help her pay for her upcoming IVF. I agreed to write a check of $12,000. I want to help her.
Holy shit, what a friend.
I know, right? Who just has 12 G's like that for their homie?
I don't know.
That's friendship. Know. Good Lord.
Yeah.
And no strings attached, OP says. I wrote the check and gave it to her last week. She was very appreciative. Turns out, though, there was a string attached because the next day, OP got a sudden message from a mutual friend, Carol, with a screenshot of the convo she had with Alicia. Turns out she and Alicia were talking about the IVF thing. Alicia said she hoped the cycle would work because, quote, she didn't want to end up divorced and having her husband go marry someone younger and have a baby with them and another one on the way.
That's fucked.
While she's alone and without a family at 35.
Wow.
She's 32. I was stunned and hurt. I knew she meant me. I simply contacted my bank and canceled the check. AITA.
I mean, come on. That's not a string attached. That's like, yeah, I'm not going to give you $12,000 fucking dollars if you're going to say that shit about me. That's you don't look a gift horse in the mouth or something, or like mortally insult the gift horse.
I'm very, yeah. That's more on it. Yeah, you're right. It's more like you don't call the person who gave you a gift horse a fuckface the next day.
That's like so fucked up.
They're going to want that gift horse back.
Yeah.
Well, because looking a gift horse in the mouth is when you examine the gift horse and check its teeth. Because I've Googled it. It's a horse-related phrase. You know, I've gone into it. I will tell you though, I did kind of have the impulse that this might be a little brutal. I guess my thought is, if you really care about this person so much that you would just throw them $12,000 for their IVF, why is your friendship so brittle? But I ended up coming back around to NTA because I was like, I don't think it was that. I think she was just like, I'm going to do a really nice thing and feel good about myself. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, you robbed me of feeling good about myself, so I'm not going to do it for you.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's that. It's also like, well, oh, wow, I guess we're not as good friends as we thought if this is what you kind of secretly are saying about me. And then it's like, well, you don't deserve my money then.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was $100, whatever. But $12,000.
Well, and I also thought this is a uniquely check-based situation. You know, if you used any other kind of money, I think you wouldn't be able to reverse it quite so easily.
Yeah, oh my God, imagine if she'd Venmo'd her $12,000.
Some Bitcoin, bro.
Yeah.
This is why people need to use Bitcoin to pay for each other's IVFs. Okay, relax, Kyle. Top comment was NTA. It was a cruel thing to do of her, especially after you were so gracious. By the way, just a reminder, your worth is not connected to your ability to bear children.
Aw. Wholesome Reddit.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, AITA for wanting to go to Japan with my husband.
Wow. I'd really hate to lose my eternal crown on this, so let me chew on it
What,
for a
you
minute.
have the eternal crown?
No, whoever wins.
Yeah, I know. I would not want to lose either. No.
Why would you be the asshole? What was it again? One more time.
AITA for wanting to go to Japan with my husband.
Why would you possibly be the asshole for wanting to go to Japan with your husband? It's craziness. No assholes here is almost too obvious. I want to say not the asshole, then he did something crazy, and that would make a man bad. Man bad is usually a pretty safe way to go with you. I'll go NTA.
NTA is wrong.
Ah!
So OP and her husband have been married for 5 years, and they've really only traveled one time to France. And she's always wanted to go to Japan and brought it up a bunch of times, but her husband's been kind of like reluctant at best. And his reasons are basically that it's a drastically different culture and money also. And so they haven't done much traveling because of COVID, obviously. And she's been asking again, and he's still not sold about it, but he agreed to go on a trip to, Wisconsin to see the Packers game. And OP was kind of hurt by that because she wants to travel with him somewhere romantic. Now this is what OP did. They bought plane tickets to Tokyo for the same time as his trip to Wisconsin, surprised him with it, and expected him to drop his plans and go to Japan. And he did not do that. And OP said, I asked him if he was really going to choose his friends and family over an amazing time with me. He said yes because I wasn't respecting his plans and called me an asshole. So she took their kid to her parents. So the top comment was not necessarily the asshole for wanting to travel somewhere, but YTA for the extremely shitty way you're going about it. You really come across as manipulative and spiteful in this post. Oh, also the plane tickets were non-refundable.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a move of tremendous financial chaos.
Seriously, I mean, what is that, thousands of dollars to go to Japan? I imagine, right?
Oh, yeah, it can't be cheap. I guess my only thought here is, and maybe I'm just playing it too paranoid, but I'm like, man, this is such a boneheaded, maniacally crazy move. I'm like, what has been going on in this relationship?
I agree with you. This is like completely bonkers.
It's so bonkers. It's the classic hemmed of Keith and the girl quote, which is, if it's hysterical, it's historical. And I'm like,
maybe not though. Maybe she just like, I don't know. Some people just go nuclear like this.
Yeah.
And it's not like the guy's fault. Like, I don't know. Some people just act this way.
I know. I guess I'm just playing up the anti-man harmonica right now.
Oh,
but it's
I'm
just
like, we don't need to blame him. I mean, you know, maybe he is an asshole because he's always choosing sports over her.
That's what I mean.
But
like,
we don't know that.
Years and years and years of that. I don't know. You're right.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
AITA for not helping a child when they fell over.
Yeah, this was YTA.
Wow, she iced the thing, people. It's over for me. Today, I, 19M, was waiting for my girlfriend at our local park. I was waiting on a bench looking at ducks in the pond when a child right in front of me, off his scooter, probably 6, fell over. I laughed, not out loud. Not really how laughing works. The child was crying.
Yeah, in your head, you thought, ha ha ha. Like,
yeah,
what?
Right? As no one does except when texting. The child was crying, being dramatic, when its mother
Ew.
came
See,
rushing.
this is peak Reddit right here. God forbid you acknowledge that a child exists. Like, I never get that perspective. Like, we were all children.
Yeah.
It's okay to not want to have a kid, but, like, I don't understand why people on Reddit act like children are, like, subhuman scum. Like, you were one.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
The child was crying, being dramatic, when his mother came rushing in, checking if he's bleeding. He wasn't even scratched. The woman looked up at me, seeing me slightly grin, asking why I didn't help him. I responded, he isn't hurt, so why do I need to help him? She got pissy and said, if he was bleeding from his head, would you help? I said, no, probably not.
Oh.
Started having a go at me, acting like I should have helped a random dramatic child up from the floor when he isn't even injured. I walked away, and from a distance, you could hear her yelling, I can't tell if I was the asshole or not because he's not my kid, so he's not my responsibility.
Yeah, oh my God.
I actually really agree with this top comment, though, because, like, obviously the mother wasn't that far off. Top comment, blinkings and beepings. Well, that's kind of nice. You wouldn't necessarily be an asshole for not helping, but YTA for your whole attitude. I think grinning was shitty. You don't, come on.
Yeah, oh my God. Again, you're so happy that this kid fucking fell. Like, you're grinning about
Jesus,
it.
man.
Unless he fell in, like, a hilarious way. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes.
OP didn't even say it was a funny fall.
I mean, come on. One time, my friend's cat, this was fucking hilarious. Like, we had a sliding glass door. I don't know why. I guess the glass door was really clean. She just fucking ran and launched herself, like, right into the glass door. Falls flat on the floor, like, face first into the glass door. Gets up, shakes it off, walked away. We all looked at each other and just, like, bust out laughing. Like, that was a hilarious fall.
Wow. Just
Like,
burned one of the 9.
It was just so, yeah. Couldn't believe it. But, I mean, yeah, if the kid didn't even fall in a funny way, like, why are you smirking?
Yeah, that's sociopathic, bro. Put the smile away.
Seriously.
And repeatedly calling the child dramatic is a little bit like, come on, man. It's a 6-year-old kid. That's like the 5th time they've ever fallen. It's like the worst thing that's ever happened to them that they remember. Like, cut them some slack.
No, seriously. Okay, AITA for telling my mom I don't want my grandma at my wedding because she'll ruin my pictures.
Well, the intuition here would be a YTA. I would like to ask for a double or nothing here to potentially draw.
That seems unfair.
That's fair. All right, I'll go, no, well, the obvious answer is YTA. Oh, God. I mean, I was going to say, then who would be the asshole? Was grandma, like, show up in a crazy costume every time? She's showing too much skin? That's fun. I want to live in that world. I'm saying NTA and the grandma is.
You're close, but no cigar. Essentially, the grandma is like a hoarder. And just like, doesn't bathe. I know, like totally different scenario, but you were kind of on there with the verdict. But like also hasn't spoken to OP in a year. And so they have their own problems. So yeah, OP doesn't want to invite her to the wedding. The top comment was no assholes here. If you think she'll be a disruption, don't invite her. And I guess her brothers also didn't invite her to their weddings because like, this has just been like a constant, like the grandma has been like this for like 30 years and has just refused help. So yeah, the top comment was no assholes here.
Wow. Well, Sarah, I guess you have improved because that is a blowout, folks.
Thank you.
2-0. Sarah getting the eternal Guess the Verdict crown of all time. Now, people, I am getting reports here from our meteorologist that we do have one heck of an ep for you today. Our second story of the day. AITA for telling my girlfriend what her chicken nuggets are made of. Huh. But first, people, rate, review, subscribe. Please join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. I know a lot of you are sad Sarah's gone, but there might be 130 plus bonus episodes with her. Hello. It's a lot of content. We have an amazing Discord community. And honestly, if you want to have an impact on the pod and be involved in the selection of the next co-host or whatever, the format of the show, we don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I don't know. But you could have an impact, you know, if you go in there and post shit in the Discord. I don't know. Talk to me. Anyway, much love to all y'all. Keep submitting. Keep DMing me on Insta. Love to hear from you. You're all gems and a half. Here we go. AITA for asking my 25F sister, 20F, to fix her overgrown / two-tone hair before my wedding. My 26F wedding is in 3 months. Both of my sisters, Sadie, 29F, and Olivia, 20F, are my maids of honor. My wedding is going to be elegant and big. Okay. As groom and I have a lot of friends, family, and we've always dreamt of an extravagant wedding. I have a good relationship with both sisters, however my younger sister, Olivia, has made the process a bit difficult as a bridesmaid. I chose a light dusty pink for the color of the bridesmaids' dresses and let the girls pick what style they wanted. Immediately, Olivia says she's going to feel insecure as she's so pale and the dress will make her look red. I suggested a spray tan, as the color of the dresses had already been set in stone to match the rest of my wedding, but she said absolutely not. Fair. I think OP is saying, like, fair. I didn't hear anything else about the dresses, but now I'm in a predicament with her again, and I'm not sure if I made a mistake for making such a big deal. Olivia regularly highlighted her dark brown hair with blonde for years, but decided about a year ago to grow it out and let it get healthy, meaning no dye. A month or so in, her hair didn't look terrible, more like a balayage. Sarah?
You got that. It's balayage.
Crushed it. Yeah. But now we're around the year mark and her roots are straight up brown and there's a straight line, no blending, a blonde for the last 8 inches of her hair.
Oof, rough.
Olivia has insisted she has her hair down during the wedding. However, I don't want her roots and hair on full display during pictures, ceremony, and throughout the night. I love my sister and respect what she wants to do with her hair. However, it's an eyesore, and I've never seen anyone let their hair look like this for so long. I told her I would pay for anything she wanted done to it, as long as her roots were at least a bit blended for the wedding. She says that she doesn't want to put any more chemicals on it and is leaving it, and I won't change her mind. I told my hairdresser about Olivia's POV, we go to the same hairdresser, and she told me that there are plenty of things she can do for her that can make her hair look blended and still be healthy. Olivia still refuses, despite me offering to pay and telling her our hairdresser said she can make subtle changes and preserve her hair. I should add that her hair is not breaking or fried. She simply wanted a break from dyeing it to get it as healthy as she could and to grow it out. This day is one of the most important in my life, and having someone in my wedding party with unkept roots is something I don't want. I'm not asking her to cut it or change the color, just to transition the colors. She's irritated because my other sister and mother have told her that she should change it for the sake of not ruining pictures. AITA.
Here's the thing, like, I don't know, like, I understand OP, like, this is not a situation of, like, your friend has always had blue hair, or your friend has always had tattoos and you want her to, like, cover it up. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, roots like this look janky. Like, they just look bad. And I don't think this is to me, this is not like, a sort of, what's the word? Like, to me, this is not saying, like, oh, well, why don't you want your friends to look the way that they look on your wedding day? To me, this is like, come on, like, you're going to look back at these pictures and be like, look at her hair. Like, the same way that anybody did with, like, a terrible 90s perm. You're going to be like, look at this hair.
Well, I love that I'm in the position of playing devil's advocate on the side of against the patriarchy, against how women are told how to look even by other women. How about that? I see a lot of men looking like shit. I mean, I think it's tough. I think it's tough because I have never even seen this in my life. I'm trying to visualize it.
I think I need you to, like, Google it too, because I have a feeling like you don't know what we're talking about completely.
I think I can't picture it.
It's just like, imagine like the first top half of her hair is brown and then it's a line and then the rest is blonde. Because that's what happens when you, like, dye your hair and then let it grow out, but don't do anything to make it a good transition.
I'm struggling with the search here because I typed in two-toned hair and I'm looking at the most beautiful women that
no, search unblended roots.
Unblended roots. Okay.
I'm like, let me put this in a chat.
Oh no.
Thank you.
Oh no. This looks like somebody, it looks like somebody was like an evil villain who's like, ha ha ha, I'm going to slowly lower you into the vat of acid. Yes. And then just as they're slowly descending, they're like, you got me, Batman. And then somehow they pull her back up.
Thank you, yes. Thank you. And I think the sister has been, honestly, the bride has been pretty reasonable. Like, she's like, look, I'll pay for it. She also, asked her to wear her hair up.
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah, it looks good if it's blended, and you can grow your color out in ways that literally don't look like you dipped half your head into a vat of bleach and stopped.
I mean,
she also offered her to wear her hair up, but the sister's refusing because she doesn't like how it looks. And at that point, I'm kind of like, all right, well, you're just being really uncompromising.
I think I have a way that we can set this up so that it's not so patriarchal. Because here's the thing about this particular hairdo. I think this crosses away from, this is my style, and really is just like unkept.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I feel the same way. Like, this is not like, again, your friend has had purple hair. She's always had, like, interesting colored hair, unconventional. Like, this is just like, yeah, the same thing. To me, it's the same as, like, if you didn't get your hair cut in, like, 3 years and it was, like, out of control, split ends everywhere.
it just, it's upsetting to see. It looks like an error. I don't really feel like, and nobody is doing this. Am I right that nobody would do this on purpose?
So I think certain people would, but I think those people wouldn't like necessarily care about like conventional styles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a better way to set this up, is that this is basically a lack of maintenance, and I think that's a much more fair charge. Looks like you're being really unkept at the wedding, just like if someone, had a crazily messy, patchy beard, like the beard that I develop, or, wanted to wear their nasty old hat or something. It's like, okay, it's disgusting.
And when you consider the fact that, like, she also made a stink about the bridesmaid's dress color, like, which, first of all, I think getting to choose your own dress, the bride is already throwing you a bone there. And you're like, oh, you're, like, shut the fuck up about the color. You don't get to decide that.
I feel like this has been a pretty nuanced discussion, which is going to be great because Reddit seemed to see this a very distinct way. The top comment,
because God forbid a bride have any desires at her wedding. Like, to me, this is really not a question of personal expression unless she has decided she's really into this, like, two-toned 90s look, which doesn't seem to be the case.
These Redditors, they don't know one of my classic phrases, which is reality is real. They live in Reddit reality. Left car, 6520. Look, to be honest, if your wedding pictures are the most important thing in your life to the point where someone else's hair color is going to bother you enough to fight about it, you really need to reevaluate your life priorities.
I literally don't agree because it's not like she's not going to be able to have fun at the wedding because she's going to be stewing over her hair, but like, you pay for these pictures for a reason. You pay a lot of fucking money, and it's because you want to look back at your wedding, and you don't want to look back and be like, oh yeah, remember when you had this terrible dye job?
Yes, and you know what it is too? A wedding is a production. It is. It's a production. Yeah. It's a production. It is the bride show, conventionally, in the heteronormative sense, okay? But I think that because it's a production and there's a lot of money put into it, it has a high production value. In fact, OP repeatedly stresses this, that this is an elegant wedding. This isn't some trailer park wedding. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not that. And she's offering to pay. She's giving her all the right paths. She's saying, look, I want you in my production. You're a key person in my production. Your lack of grooming doesn't match the production quality here. And I actually think that's a pretty reasonable ask.
I think, and I think she also I think this girl's just being difficult on purpose because she won't even wear her hair up because she doesn't like how it looks to like hide the roots. At that point, it's just like, okay, well, if you don't want to like compromise at all or be kind of told how to look that day, like, do not be a bridesmaid because that is the gig. Like, that's the whole gig. You get told what dress to wear. You get told, like, I don't know, acceptable nail polish colors or whatever. Like, that is the gig. Don't do it then.
For me, there's something clarifying about framing a wedding as a sacred production.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's very important to the bride. It really is. A lot of women, this is very important to them. And I don't think that's bridezillery. I think that's made of a couple different things. I think it's that it's a special night, and it's a night with it literally is a production, right? Because there's photographers and videographers, and people like look through their wedding books and shit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my parents do it a lot. Like, I think it's one thing if you have like a trendy haircut that isn't going to age well. That's obviously going to happen with like all of our styles and every single wedding dress, but like, you don't really want to preserve this weird in-between phase that isn't even done because she likes it that way, And let me say this too, Sarah. Isn't it in her self-interest as well? I honestly feel like I think so too. If somebody, you don't want to look back in 20 years and everybody's laughing at you at Thanksgiving when they pull out the pics. And I feel like this is a thing. If you had a friend with hair like this, maybe not right away, but you would eventually crack and be like, yo, I think you gotta like get that unblended roots. Yeah. I think you got to get those looked at. Yes, I had to pull up the Google again because I forgot the term. Those unblended roots, Jillian, they look a little, ugh. This is something that you would say to your friend. Reddit is going on and on. Nobody cares about this except you. Not true, because if I saw a woman with that hair, I might even take a picture because that shit looks bad. And guys, it's so bad that if you Google unblended roots, there's literally only one picture.
There's literally only one.
It's this girl's sister.
Nobody does this. Nobody lets this get so bad. Google has archived all of human knowledge, and one person ever, behindthechair.com, has let their hair get this bad. And by the way, she got it blended, and it looks amazing now. It looks incredible.
Yeah, it's just not. I think I found some sanity in the Reddit comments. Thank God. They wrote, belugas are neat. Wow, true. Wrote, I think AITA has a really weird stance on weddings. It takes a pretty firm, don't spend money and don't care about things stance that's just not set in the real world. That I also think, they didn't write this, but like, I think they only apply that standard to women. Anyway, they continue. It's not crazy to want the pictures you'll be spending thousands on to look nice. And while her sister, of course, has the choice to do whatever she wants with her body, it seems really disrespectful to have made this decision about her hair after years of dyeing it and knows what that entails during the wedding planning and refusing an updo that would hide it. Yeah.
I think we've got OP's sister on lock, surrounded on all sides. I really can't.
I think these are just people, yeah, they hate weddings. And like, I understand the Instagramification of like a lot of things has made things worse. And I think Redditors are kind of taking that angle out on this person. But at the end of the day, like, I think the sister has been really compromising and like given a lot of reasonable asks that the sister is saying no to for like no real good reason.
I could do a lot more for the sister, who, by the way, is 20 years old, so of course she's acting like this. Not that you're all like that. Calm down, millennial or Gen Z listeners. Calm down. But some of you are. If she was saying, I got my hair half blue, half pink, split down the mids, and that was her thing,
yeah,
I would be like, that's her thing. That would be stronger. But instead, this is just like, I'm not maintaining my hair, and this is what I'm doing, and I'm being very rigid. For these reasons, AITA for asking my 25F sister 20F to fix her overgrown two-tone hair before my wedding. We agree it's NTA, and the sister is.
I think so.
Severely deviating from Reddit.
Yeah.
All right, here's Sarah.
Here I am. I don't know why that wasn't a link. Okay. AITA for telling my girlfriend what her chicken nuggets are made of. I, 26M, have been dating my girlfriend, 24F, for a year almost. I've been vegetarian for 2 years while my girlfriend doesn't eat meat. Oh, sorry. This podcast has taught me that I cannot fucking read. Okay. I have been vegetarian for 2 years, and while my girlfriend doesn't eat many things because she finds them disgusting, just the smell of certain things, often vegetables, to my detriment, can make her throw up. I haven't talked to her much about vegetarianism because I know she's not a big fan of it, which is fine. Until the last time we were at McDonald's together, she ate a lot of her meals there because she likes almost all the menu. I bought a veggie burger and fries while she treated herself to a 20-pack of chicken nuggets. The afternoon was going well overall until she suddenly started making fun of me. She laughed about how weird it would be to eat here as a vegetarian and I must hate the veggie burger and only eat it because there's nothing else for me. I was slightly irritated by this because she's never said anything about the subject before, and I just wrote it off as a joke. But throughout the meal, she made odd comments until suddenly she said in a mocking tone, "At least I don't eat grass." I laughed at that and responded with, "But at least I don't eat shredded chicks." She then stared at me in shock and looked at her food and asked what I meant. I explained to her that chicken nuggets from fast food restaurants are usually just chicks that have been thrown into a shredder. Upon my explanation, she choked briefly. I was about to ask if everything was okay until she suddenly threw up on the table. The staff rushed to her, but she'd already started crying and sank into the bench she was sitting on. I tried to de-escalate the situation and told her I didn't mean it, and she stormed out of the McDonald's. I apologized to the staff for the trouble and hurried after her. Unfortunately for me, she was already gone with the car, so I called a cab. We live in a rather remote home.
Okay, that line made me think this is going to a murder. Why is the remoteness of the house relevant?
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I guess, OP says he inherited a house from his grandma. I don't really know why that's relevant. OP says, I waited for her to open the door, which she did. Then she didn't even look at me in the eyes before she went back into the bedroom. I ran after her and saw she was packing a bag, so I asked her what she was up to. Actually, OP says, whereupon, and this is the second time they've said whereupon.
Oh, God.
OP says she burst into tears and reproached me for saying something like that when I knew what it would do to her and that I would know what it meant to her. I didn't answer because she was already crying and let the matter take its course. Before she went out the door, she told me she was going to spend some time with her mother. It's been 4 hours since this happened, and I don't know who to talk about it, so Reddit AITA.
I mean, I feel like this is such a classic case of like you picked on a vegetarian and they told you what your meal is and
that's not true.
What?
That's not true, right?
Well, I mean, is it not
like,
true?
Not baby chicks.
It's not untrue.
Yeah, I don't feel like they use baby chicks. Like that's not economical.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. It rhymes with the truth. I mean, look, it's like it's worse than baby chicks. It's like the whole chicken they throw in there and they grind it into like a pink paste. Remember when all that went viral?
Yeah,
like,
but that's not true. And McDonald's like sued over that, I think.
Oh, the pink paste is fake?
The pink paste is not true. Or at least it's not true anymore. Because I remember McDonald's made a big campaign of like, our chicken nuggets are 100% chicken breast. And I was like, what was it before? Or like 100% white meat or something, like they said that. And I was like, what was it before?
Yeah, it says here, chicken nuggets are made with white meat from the breast or pectoral muscles of the birds with other chicken parts mixed in. Tendons, bones, nervous and connective tissues, and fat can all be ground up.
But I think they do pump the chickens full of like hormones or whatever to give them like huge breasts for the, like a huge breast. So that's what I read. But I don't know about the pink slime. But it doesn't matter. But I think also like, yeah, this is just so weird. It comes out of nowhere. And I would be annoyed if someone was like making fun of my veggie burger. Like, I bet you don't even like it. It's like, yeah, I probably don't, but we have to fucking come here because you can't eat anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just don't really feel like what OP did is that bad after she repeatedly took shots.
I don't either.
And then, okay, I guess he lied.
She seems like an asshole.
That's the worst thing I could say is that I guess it was a conscious lie, but I also
he lied for shock value. But also, he doesn't eat grass, so I think it's kind of
Yes.
the same thing. Like, I'm sorry, like, how dense are you, you know?
And I
is
feel
this like 1990 and you just learned about vegetarianism? Like,
I know, right? What a boring
give me
roast.
a fucking break, you know?
Oh, are you eating grass?
Yeah, like...
Oh, do you feel weak? Like...
Are you
I don't know.
Actually, maybe.
I'm almost like, is this an R that happened? Because I'm like, really? She heard that and then just threw up all over? Like, okay. I mean, is that even significantly grosser than just knowing that they're made of chicken? Like, why is that so upsetting to you?
That's like a good, yeah, putting it in a shredder. Is that yeah, that's like a good point. I don't really know.
Clearly they're shredded. I mean, the texture of a chicken nugget
I mean, they have
like,
to be put in some kind of machine. It's not like someone's hand plucking them in the back of the McDonald's. Like,
hey, babe, did you know that chicken nuggets are processed? Blech! Like, come on, give me a break. It's obviously
wait, that's so funny. It's
highly processed. It does not come off a chicken nugget tree. Like, Mohag the moo cow, YTA,
What?
and you clearly know nothing at all about food preparation factories. Yes, a lot of the meats are mechanically separated, and maybe it's not the best quality meat, but they don't shred chicks. There's no meat on a chick to even bother with. In this example, McDonald's is 100% chicken breast meat. You really gonna go to 100%? I doubt that. I just got a lot of doubts about 100. 100's a big number of percents. Get your facts straight. You get your facts straight,
We're
top
gonna get
comment.
a cease and desist from McDonald's Corp. Like,
yeah, right. They know it's not. Nothing is 100%. No, that's like way too high. There's like a machine tolerance. Like nothing is 100%. That's absurd.
yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know why Reddit's acting this way again. Because I'm just like, you know what? Don't dish it if you can't take it. And she was being super obnoxious, especially after he gave her a concession. Like, she goes, oh, you probably hate the veggie burger, but you're only eating it because there's nothing else to eat because you're a vegetarian. It's like, yeah, because you fucking dragged me here because of your crazy, like, eating situation that apparently you're not seeing a doctor for. Like, you can't even smell vegetables without throwing up. Like, that's concerning.
Yeah, I mean, that again, I don't know if this is real.
How are you going to make fun of me when I'm doing you a favor? Like, that's just so rude.
Yeah, it's brutal.
How is this the top comment? I'm angry. I am fucking angry now. Okay.
Reddit's very confused. A lot of confused young men on there. After 7 years, ESH, for one thing, chicken nuggets are not made of baby chicks. But she must have known they were made from dead chickens, and at 24 should have known that the process wasn't pretty. And you know that she's prone to vomit easily. Whatever. I mean, look, if you're an easy vomiter, maybe you shouldn't be talking mad shit while eating McDonald's with your veggie. By the way, brutal. You know the veggie burger at McDonald's sucks. So it's like,
But maybe they have the Impossible Burger now, and that shit is good.
Maybe. I'm like, you got to be nicer to people about food if you're going to be this picky and have a throw up volatility thing. Like, I can't reach into ESH. I don't like this girl.
I can't either. Like, she just went at him out of nowhere.
She picked a fight and lost.
Yeah, she just went at for no reason. Like, she just went at him. Like, I can't believe he's even trying to make this work. And yeah, she fucked around and found out. Like,
and I thought she was going to be young. She's 24. This is who you are at 24. You got to go to therapy. You got to do something, girl.
yeah, I'm like, you can't eat a vegetable again. Concerning.
How are you alive? Also, you've not had vegetables. I'm pretty sure you're dying.
That is how I feel about people who like drink soda instead of water. I'm like, how are you just not a raisin?
God, AITA for telling my girlfriend what her chicken nuggets are made of. I think we're on the same page here.
Did anybody go with us? NTA? Anybody on Reddit?
Reddit is just absolutely... Reddit is being radicalized. Curious One, 4595, NTA. He couldn't predict her reaction. She behaved maliciously in mocking him, and he returned it in kind. Frankly, the only thing you should be separate for is to sever the relationship completely.
Yeah, man.
I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, AITA for telling my GF what her chicken nuggets are made of. I think we agree on this. NTA, and she is.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We're going to wrap things up on... man, this
Trigger warning, animal
brutal.
abuse, but this was insane to me, and I did want to go out talking about it. So,
all right, here we go. Trigger warning,
I don't
guys.
even know if it's
this
animal abuse, but whatever. Trigger warning, because that title sounds bad.
Brutal. AITA for burning my wife's cat. Back in '99, oh man, it's always exhausting when a situation harkens back 22 years. Wow, I almost said 10 years.
I know. That's the thing.
I'm old. Yeah. And my podcast co-host leaving. It'll be okay. Back in '99, we had a cat adopt my family.
What?
Classic dad joke if I ever heard one.
We
lived in a rural area, and one day this fully grown, fluffy gray cat came over the hill of our 6-acre property and never left.
Okay, brag, 6 acres.
I know, right? He was very tame, and so we thought he had to belong to someone. We had him live outdoors in case he ever wanted to go home. He stayed around, and we always referred to him as the cat. Okay. I have heard this before. A lot of people do this joke and think they're so original. They're like, I named my cat Cat. It's like, yes, it has been done. It might be the most obvious choice. He was my wife's favorite, and he even got to come inside the house sometimes. One day, my wife found him under our house with a bloody shoulder and eye popping out of his head after surviving being hit by a car.
Yeah, maybe don't let your cat live outside. I don't know, just a thought.
After taking him to the vet, he lost his eye, and the vet said he would never walk again without surgery and probably wouldn't survive if they put him under, so she brought him home and waited for him to die. He didn't die, and he did walk again and continued to hunt mice, rabbits, and prairie dogs. We started calling him One Eye. Hell yeah, this cat is hard, dude.
Yeah, this guy he's burned through some lives right here.
Oh yeah, One Eye, One Life, let's go. In 2017, One Eye was very old and rarely came out of his outdoor cat house for anything. We would see him meandering around the yard once in a while, but we could tell it wouldn't be long before he passed. One day while I was doing yard work, I came upon One Eye's dead body near a ditch. My wife does not do well when animals die. The ones that she has had to bury have been really hard, lots of crying and sadness for days. She usually does better.
Yeah, as you do when a pet dies.
She usually does better when the animals just disappear. I decided to throw his body in the burn pile to prevent my wife from finding him.
Okay, Stephen Avery, like, I am alarmed.
Nice reference. Later that day, my wife goes on a walk, but not long after comes in the house furious and pale and telling me to sit down. She asked very carefully and calmly, but hiding extreme rage, "Did you burn my cat?" And I just stammered a bit and said, "What are you talking about? Did you burn my cat?" I said, "Yes, I burned One Eye." She screamed, "Was he alive?" And I assured her,
"Oh my God,
no,
imagine."
He wasn't alive. I had found him and was only trying to spare her feelings. I was flabbergasted that she found him since the burn pile was nowhere near where she walks. So I asked, "How did you know?" And she screamed back at me, "Because there's a piece of him in the yard."
Oh, God.
Apparently, my cremation was not complete, and some other animal had pulled the rest of the body out of the ashes after the burn and simmered down.
No.
To this day, she thinks I was in the wrong, but I think I was just thinking of her feelings. So AITA for burning my wife's cat. What a submish.
I actually think this is the most interesting submission we've gotten in a while. I don't know what. Outside of literally thinking this is Stephen Avery, because in the first 10 minutes of Making a Murderer, they talk about how he burned a cat for fun. I literally don't know what to think.
I mean, at first I was worried that OP was trying to prevent his wife from grieving, but I truly don't think that was his intention. I think his intention was literally for her just to not see it, that the visual would haunt her. And
nobody should see, yeah, I don't think anybody should see that.
my dad did this too with us. We never saw the dogs except unless he would let us see them once they, like, I remember one of the dogs was like, he wouldn't let us see their faces and stuff. He's like, you don't want to see that. And
yeah,
I think
my sister found my first dog. Like I think we had an appointment to put him down, but he passed away before that, and she found him, and it was just like, I think that was a pretty harrowing image.
You don't want that image in your head necessarily, so I can't even ding OP for that. And he was planning her walk, and he put some strategy there. There was thoughtfulness there. You know, he didn't know that some kind of, you know, vengeful rabbit family would, you know, then pull the body out or whatever happened there, a coyote.
I think it's kind of concerning that she had to ask if the cat was alive. Like,
I think she was hysterical at that point.
Okay, I'm like, you think your husband would do that? Like, yikes.
And an impulse, you know.
Yikes.
It's hard. It's hard to ding because I can sense that, you know, OP was trying. I'm also feeling a little bit better about our outside dogs that we kept, and my brother and I have spoken about before. But you know, people do have. Believe, I know that was kind of messed up. But this outside cat, you know, he came from the outside.
He at least does have an outside cat house. At first, I was like, damn, you called this thing your cat, but like you made it live out in the elements. But okay, if he had a little cat house, some people have indoor/outdoor cats. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like strong opinions on both sides of that. And I don't have a cat, so I'm not going to weigh in.
Well, I think OP could be wrong here, that he did the wrong thing, that this wasn't the best way to approach this problem. I can say that OP was in the wrong. I think I can say that this just wasn't an optimal outcome. So there's things to learn.
Because I think she didn't even know the cat was dead. So like, what was your plan? You were just gonna say, honey, one left eye died. It just kind of gets one eye. One eye died, and so I burned him, and that's it. Like I think
cremated. He could also say, he used the word burn.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Cremation.
I know, right? Putting it on a bird pile is a little bit rough, but
I mean, they got 6 acres, so you know, people who have 6 acres literally always have a burn pile, just running fire that never stops.
Someone in Reddit is probably like, YTA, there's a no burn morning right now.
Yeah, right.
Or a burn ban, I think is what they call it. But yeah, I think the plan of trying to shield her from it was good. I think the plan of like not telling her that the cat had died and like waiting until after to be like, it's dead, and by the way, I cremated it, is maybe not great.
It's tough though, and I feel for OP because it's one of those things where it's like, why did you break up with me over at this time? Or like, you know, it's like, well, when and how do you break to someone that their cat died? It's just like, is there really ever a good time? If you might have been waiting to do it in person, it sounds like the next time they met up in person, she had already found out. He could have.
It's his wife. What do you mean the next time they met up?
Well, because weren't they separated?
They're separated?
No, just that they weren't in each other's presence for some time.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I just mean like, you know, when she comes home. It's not like,
when she comes home.
When's the next time I'm going to see you? That's what we're meeting up.
No, that he was waiting to tell her when she got home.
Yeah.
I think I think this was a poor outcome for a tough situation. I feel like OP was reasonably trying their best here. I don't really see a lot of dings. I think you can agree with your wife and say, I did not handle that situation well, but your intent was in a good place. I think it was.
Yeah.
I think he tried.
I think he tried to do the right thing in his own way. It didn't land how he thought.
You could do better next time, right? If you are in this situation again, God forbid, you know, maybe supervise the burn pile a bit, or, you know, make sure this kind of goes off without a hitch, because, you know, it's a dead cat, homie. You don't want parts being dragged out. I think I could ding you, not ding you really morally, but, you know, you could have had a better burning process.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I could call him the asshole for this. Like, I think the attempt was made.
Solid attempt. Good intent, very solid intent. I think reasonable for these reasons. AITA for burning my wife's cat. I think we agree. No assholes here.
I think so too.
I think this was a tough situation. And look, OP, I think to understand your wife a little bit, you tried to clean this thing up and preserve your wife's precious soul from a horrifying image. And because of your lack of diligence on the burn process, she might have been hit with a comparably, maybe even more traumatic image, which was a part of a cat.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
This was a very poor outcome. So we're not dinging you, but you got to figure out your burn game.
I mean, it's been 30 years, so I hope they figured it out.
OP's like, I burned the shit out of everything now. I got kerosene.
Oh, God. Horrifying.
What a sitch to go out on. Well, Sarah, it's been a good run. And thanks for doing this with me. And this isn't your last episode, but I really look forward to you coming back. And thank you.
Aw, thank you. I'll be back soon.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show. Please keep in touch with me and give me your opinions. I'm going to be having a lot of guests, so let me know if there's guests you like and, frankly, guests that you don't like. I need the feedback because, I'm going to try to make this thing pop off. And, she's the inimitable Sarah Levine. So, Sarah,
oh, man.
We wish you the best. And we'll hopefully see you soon. I mean, I won't hassle you, but, anytime you want to do an ep, of course, I'll be down.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.